Hi everyone, so today we're going to be looking at Delphi, and it'll probably be a week ago. By the time you see this, it might be just over a week. It seems like Richardallen has been moved. He looked a lot better. I don't know how he looked prior. I should have actually just checked that. Because, you know, I was called by Spirit to do that reading, and knowing nothing about Delphi case, not even thinking to do a reading on it. With regards to the way he was being held, and I don't think anyone's been held in that situation. It was kind of like as if he was already on a death row jail, but there was a lot of mental abuse, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he was administered medication that he shouldn't have been, like, that were driving into a bit more psychosis. And then the whole thing is just get me out of here, and also starting to believe your own story, that you have been, you know, like doubting a story, and then you start to believe that doubt, and you can't differentiate between your own story and before. So I want to do a check-in on Richardallen now. What I saw was him stepping out of probably the police transport. It is the police transport. I was going to say car, so I wanted to say transport because it might have been a 4x4, and he got down, his hands and everything were shackled, but he gave a little smile, and I didn't think he looked unwell or anything. Totally different from how I was seeing him when I did my first read, which was someone who was kind of frailed and hunched over, and well, you know that I believe he's had a knee replacement or hip replacement, and I think this is one of the things of proof they probably have, along with probably voice recognition in this case. I just think there's stuff that's not being told, that in the courts you're going to find that things are proven in some way, but I do think that there's going to be some area of speculation given the amount of time this has taken. So with that, I also then want to check in on the judge. Now, can someone help me, like from day one of when he was captured and then they were preparing for trial, etc., has it always been the same judge and the same lawyers on each side, or has it changed? I don't know why. I feel like there's been a bit of a change or something, but I don't know on what side. I can definitely tap into the psyche, and because I'm just mentioning this, usually I don't really think much of the intro that I want to do or say, but it feels like there might have been, I don't know, it's taken a long time, so maybe there's been a change either with lawyers at one side or the judge. So firstly, let's just check in and see how Richardallen is doing. It's interesting. It's kind of like the tarot's not calling, and it's kind of like when I'm thinking, okay, which tarot spirit, they're kind of like your psyche. And my psyche just says in general, he's feeling a lot better. He's feeling within himself. Now, what I'm going to say as well is that he wants to go ahead with the defense. But I do think if it gets heavy, he might just say, I want to plea to his lawyers. And if he does, they can't. This is the thing with lawyers and defense. If you tell your defense the truth, and it's kind of like what the prosecution is saying, and you are guilty, as a practicing lawyer, you should not still defend that person. You should either quit or be honest and say, okay, we need to go into, we need to admit and maybe ask for a plea. I'm not sure if these things are happening in practicing. And if they are abiding by what they should, it means that he's probably not pleaded to them under normal circumstances of when he doesn't look like he's wired. Like I would see him frail and really wired, just like wired. I don't know if you know what I would mean by wired, but really zapped and wired. And with that wiring was like a nervous edge, but not fear, but yeah, it was weird how I was seeing him. So I feel like he's feeling a lot more in himself. Now, what I know when I saw that picture is that they were going for I don't know, is it a I don't know if it's a preliminary hearing or something. It was supposed to be open to the public, but then they closed it. And I dare say a lot of rumours then happened because people won't know why they closed it. Maybe one of the parties raise something, so they decided to, I'm getting told to look at this card, 3 of Cups. So something was celebrated as an outcome at that plea, and it was closed in the end, so public didn't really know. So he's feeling a lot better within himself, all right? Let's see how he's doing since my last sort of where spirit guided me. How is Richard Allen at this moment in time? The next part after this is going to be looking at the second person, or I've pulled up who is names that they've suspected in the past, and I'm just going to look at their energy. I must say there's some messed up energy in those names. I haven't looked in them all, but the 2 people that are involved in this, allegedly, one is definitely someone who's committed crimes before. So if Richard Allen's not exed someone before, and I hope I didn't say the K word, which reminds me about Dr. Phil, and he's claiming of monetization, but my channel is small, so he couldn't do it. So he claimed copyright, even though I put on Chiron's video copyright. So that was the energy. You know, when I said someone's watching, that must have been the energy I was feeling, and another energy. And so because he couldn't claim the copyright money, even though I put this is, and do you know what they are? 45 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute 15 seconds on my an hour and 5 minutes part 4. That is just insane, you know. And I put credit Dr. Phil, you can see his slogan, and because I'm not monetized, he couldn't claim it, so he claimed the copyright. So I had a choice to either keep it as it is, but I just said just extract it. So I don't know how it's going to look in terms of the final result. But why am I saying this? Because really it should be about anyone who wants to use information and your name and your print, and you're credited it for it. Why won't you allow them to try and help keep this case alive? And possibly the downloads of location and what I cover brings to light new leads, and also information that maybe was not covered by previous channels. So that's a bit sickening. Okay, so my disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. The first one that came out is the Hanged Man, and it is in reverse. We've got the Fool, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, we've got the Chariot, and we've got the 4 of Swords. We see here he's definitely still in captive. He's still in jail, isn't it, before prison? Yep. But my right ear is burning so much. What do they say about the right ear? They say, what do they say? One side is good, one side is bad, isn't there? So, but I don't, obviously I don't, what am I trying to say now? this is interesting. So while I say what I'm trying to say, Spirit is like, this is what's happening with him. He is wanting to speak, but what, Spirit? He's fumbling on his words a bit. Not psychosis right now, it was, what is it? Confusion, another word. What is it? He doesn't have the words to say, Spirit's saying, or that's the channeling I'm getting. Doesn't have the words to say, to hold him in regard for what is done. In the midst of it all, we succumb to the finality. Is that even a word? So final destination, basically. Okay, I've lost the channeling. Crap. Whether it's proven or not. Interesting. So what did I start with? What did I just say in the channeling? Hang on a sec. You guys can repeat it, but basically I think what I'm saying is that it sounds like he thinks he's going to be charged either way. And I'm getting a yes. And I can see guilty. Now, if you know my readings, I've said he is involved, so he does have a guilty play in this. 1 second, I need to get more water. My throat is so sore, like I was okay, I don't know what's happening now. It's interesting, I said in the psychic predictions, look after your health. Okay. Send me healing, guys. So we've got the Hanged Man here. We've got quite a few major arcana. Look at this. We've got the Hanged Man, the Fool, the Chariot, and then we've got these two. I do think his wife is standing by him, regardless of what happened in terms of, I'm getting here, especially when he might have confessed, she sort of did stand by him, but she was frightened that he was actually going to pass away during that time. So he must have been in a really bad situation, like just really looks bad. I wish I looked up a picture. But this is like he, you know, it just, again, he feels like it's taking so much time here. Usually this, with these cards in the upright, I would say it's the universe telling you to just pause a little because you've got the answer for yourself with these cards to move forward. But there's something that is, there's a stuck energy, and it's probably because the trial's not moving forward, which is interesting because I want to check in on the trial. So I feel like he feels something's not moving forward for this next chapter, where really they need to put everything down and take a risk on something. He is in two minds, right? He's in two minds. It looks like he's really remembering. He's got his memory on the family. He's got his memory on them. But he's really juggling, being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I think this is, you know, because there's a second party here, he's really like, he's obviously, he's not disclosing every little thing. He has some information. He's not disclosing every little thing. And I think it was mentioned that either the pellet of his pew-pew was found, or the shell, or his pew-pew was found. Now, I have something to say about that. Now, if the pew-pew was not found there, and the pew-pew was not shot, how can you really tell 100% that this shell or pellet, let's say instead of the bee, is his. And I don't think you can when they get a person, not a person, when you get the expert to testify. But he's definitely weighing up a few things. He's definitely weighing up being inside prison, and also then will he have his freedom one day? Like, what is he, where is he? Can you see the difference between these two cards? What is going to happen for him? He doesn't feel like it's moving forward. It's stuck at this moment in time. And his presence is very much that he is in prison, which we know. But what I mean is, like, you can be somewhere, but your thoughts are like, now I'm going to get out, etc. But here, I don't necessarily see that he thinks that. It's not moving forward from what I'm getting. I don't think he sees it moving forward. He definitely lacks a little bit of focus with this. There's polarized energies I'm feeling. And there could be a strong indication that this is going in the wrong direction. So he could be feeling that the prosecution have the stronger hand as opposed to his defense at this moment in time. And that's why we've got these two cards. Let's get a couple of more cards. This one wanted to come out as well, so I'll take it even though So there is obviously there's defense, there's the world here. There's the defense, okay, which is a lot of back and forth at this moment in time. Patience is needed and working on the defense strategy. I do feel like he's a bit tugged in and out at this moment in time internally, mentally, but not in a way where I was, I would be so worried like past. I don't know if I pulled cards on the first one I got, because I just had the message so strongly from Spirit, and I wish I can remember what I just channeled, that one or two liners there, because I'd like to repeat it, but I feel like I want to repeat it here. He is not happy about something though. There's something he's not happy about. He is happy with like the majority, 75% of what his defense are putting forward, but there's something he's not happy about, and he wants, it's kind of like doesn't want it in the either in the defense or overall. I would say not defense. Sorry about that, it gave me the fright of my life. It's the fire alarm, but I think it was, I don't know. Anyway, I hope it doesn't go off. When it goes off, it gives me the fright of my life, and I hope it didn't. What was we saying? Because that could be quite significant for that to happen. Oh, it shook me. Like, I think the defense don't want something to be presented part of the hearing to the jurors. You know what I mean? Is this going to have a jury selection, by the way, or when it's presented at trial? Because shouldn't that be coming up soon? There's definitely a patience here that's happening. There's definitely a patience that's happening. And I wonder if, because he's part of the defense, obviously, he does still have something that he's not fully told here. And that could be, I feel like that's a clue to maybe something they found, but I don't think they found it. I think it might be like something that's part of the other person that was there. There's something there, or with one of the girls. So that is interesting. Okay, now I want to check, because the next part we're going to look at the names. I was going to include it in the next part, but I just want to check something. Because from his aspect, I was not getting SEX being the main motivator, okay? But I want to check on if the opportunity, and I just feel if there was this, there should be DNA, right? There should be DNA of some on the girls or something. I'm going to ask it one more time. Oh, why does Spirit do that to me? Hang on a sec then. Last time. Okay, I'm going to ask this again at a later date, okay? So just, I need to, it's something that I knew it would be on the bottom. I knew it would be on the bottom of the deck. Okay, yeah, I feel the time's not right for me to ask this or to let it out. So let's leave that till the next part. Let's look at the defense's energy at the moment. Okay, let's look at the defense's energy. So this is Richardallen's team. Who's his lawyer's name? Does anyone know? Oh, they've got the same, juggling a couple of things. That fire alarm really shook me. It's interesting. Look at the cards that are very similar, the Fool and the Two of Pentacles. You know, I know that they're focusing on the Odinist side, but they're also focusing on something happened of an opportunity. So something happened of an opportunity that meant Richardallen was there. He just happened to be there, okay? And he's a kind, loving person, and he would not do this to children. The interesting thing here is we've got Richardallen, but we've also got a younger person. So I don't know if they're also trying to indicate a younger person who might have a past or has been linked to child SA or past convictions as well. Because I'm saying this because I do know, before everyone says no, it's Odinists that they're on rituals. Yes, but I think there's also some energy of them saying that aside from the unaliving, they're looking at two sort of a decision. They're looking at both, okay? They're looking at this person who could be younger than Richardallen. So he, you know, this person could be around 35. It could be anyone from, I'd say, about, give or take, yeah, we're talking about maybe 25 to 37, even 40, seeing as we've got Richardallen around the 50s. And this person, either they're going to include an opportunity they took to also, or SA, or something around that, or someone who has a past conviction of that, as well as the whole unaliving in you know, unaliving and then walking away. Remember what I said, that I believe the bodies were placed as the sun was rising the next day. Now what's interesting, it was happening as the sun was going down as well. I know it says around 2:30, but I mentioned if they say it's happened between 2:30 and 3:30, in fact, they can't prove that. It could be from 2:30 till about 4:30. That something's, you know, the finality. So it's very interesting, because I think they're just going to say Richardallen was there by opportunity and he's not involved in this. And the people that are involved in this, okay, which could be one person who's involved in the unaliving. I believe they believe it's someone older, and someone who's a bit younger, and they're free, they've got away with it, they're not present. I also think that they might be saying the person who was involved, you know, very high SEX energy, whether they did previously do something. Now what's interesting, as I said in my reading, there's two involved, and I do believe that someone else is very evil, by the way. You know, there's one energy that I know it's not known to be the most evil in the names, but he really is evil, and I'll go through that in the names. But this is what I get for the defense, you know, and I think they might be saying this person's got away with it. This person is also maybe not alive anymore, and they, you know, they've got away with this. So they definitely think it's, so they think that the person also is a ritual leader that's actually done this. And you know, I said about the older person, this younger person, this older person could be around 45 to 55 as well, and it's not Richard that they're pointing to. They're not even saying he was involved in any way, shape or form. It's someone else that did it, someone else that's known, you know, sort of has this respect, and no one that would necessarily say no to them. So they've got a name in it. Yeah, someone who's recognized, someone who's known in the area. There's something else that I need to channel with this Temperance card. So the people they're pointing to, this one is a more of a tempered energy. He's not showing, whereas there's one that seems a bit more aggressive, shows how forward coming he is. Maybe he's spoken or something like that. That's who they're trying to point to. Let's look at the prosecution. Remember, they can feel differently at a later time. This is really interesting. Okay, so they feel there's something they feel could go the wrong way. Not the wrong way, but could cause the speculation of 100% certainty. They believe their judgment on this is very right, and they do have very high hopes that this will go in the right direction. But at the same time, there's something that they feel could easily turn this case on its head, against them. Not against them, but basically against the case of convicting Richard Allen. And I think it's that they can't point to one person, they can't point to Richard Allen only. Yeah, I think that they look at the bottom of the deck. They're also patiently working on this, but the energy is very interesting here, okay? There is something that is worrying them. Yeah, I was going to say their main focus is going to be around DNA. Their main focus is going to be around DNA. DNA that was left at the site, DNA of something to do with the bridge guy walking down the bridge. So whether, like I said, it's voice recognition, whether it's the way he walks, putting that all together, putting what we don't know now that's not out in the open, presenting stuff that's not already out in the open. That's what they're going to present. A lot of it is going to be around DNA, okay? And it could also include like digital stuff as well, like digital footprint, the phone, etc. There will be a bit about bringing up the past, okay? So I think they're going to rehatch some of the past of someone. So it's probably going to be Richard Allen, okay? I don't know what past he has. It could be his whole childhood. Maybe if he's moved states before or homes. Maybe bringing someone from previous state he's lived in. But they are going to be focusing a little bit. There's going to be a bit about the past that we're going to learn as well. And Richard Allen's past as well. And also how he could have approached the girls. Let's look at the judge. I think her name is Gull or Francis, or maybe that's together. How is... Okay, let's hang on a sec. This is interesting, isn't it? So she's definitely... So I feel like all the lawyers are probably males, okay? I wonder if she secretly feels there is more than one involved. Like there's 3 suspects that could be suspects. 1 main suspect and 2 that she's not so much feeling as suspects. And it's interesting. So on my psyche, what I believe is I believe they have from the state or above the state a lot of pressure to solve this case, close it, and put the person who's guilty in where they need to be, prison. What comes with that is making sure that they got on with it, but at the same time, this can lead to pressure of, you know, conviction, tunnel vision, which I was getting, okay? I definitely think that all of them are male lawyers here. There's the main lawyers, and she could be thinking, not Richard Allen. She could be focusing, she could be deep down thinking there's someone else. Like there's three main, it's kind of like there's three main suspects, and she's leaning to someone else. And one of those is not so much Richard Allen. Like she's questioning this third person if they're involved with these two. And it could be a younger energy. She's wondering whether two people could have done this or whether it could have been one person. Like, was the plan between more than one person, two people? She also feels like a woman coming forward is going to help clarify quite a bit in terms of who could be suspects. Especially in terms of pointing towards Richard Allen. Too many cards. Okay. I feel like she's leaning more towards the prosecution, but there's something not balanced with them. There's something that's not balanced. She's wondering if there is actually enough without reasonable doubt to convict Richard Allen. I'm also wondering if she's... Show me a major. Yeah. So I just wanted the major arcana as the bottom deck with it. I feel like she's not giving enough time. It's kind of like the time that she gives to the defense to prepare might not be as fair. So are the prosecution holding back on some things here? And is this the judgment? Yeah, judgment. Okay, yeah. So I definitely feel this pressure here. Okay. And she's... There's a fear of, you know, there's a fear of the, as it stands right now. So she won't know everything that's going to be included, right, until they've presented everything. And then she hears it, and then it goes to whatever trial. I don't know if there's jury in this, but from what she has at the moment, she's kind of like, can this be a solid guilty without any real ritualistic or other people that are just bad people involved? And she can't 100% feel that. She feels like there's still things that she's not aware of. But she is holding, like, trying to cut through any BS here. There is a couple of decisions she's trying to weigh up in terms of what can come into the trial and what can't. And she's you know, that's her doing the work at the back end. But I do feel like there's an imbalancement of time of presenting documents to the other party from the prosecution, possibly to the defense. I'm not sure if she's being fair in that. It looks like she could be a bit more fair. Like if we got the Queen of Swords, I'd say, yeah, it looks like she could be a bit more fair in terms of what is presented in a timely manner to the defense. Last card, Ten of Cups. The outcome to be for justice, for Liberty and Abby, basically. So that's what we have in the current check-in, okay? We'll do a further check-in as it goes along. I believe it's in October, isn't it? I don't know, do we have solid dates or still? Now, if there's one side that's not presenting the information they have, let's say it is prosecution to the defense on time, that, you know, that is not fair. I know if they are guilty, it's like, who cares? But as the way framework is, you should have a certain amount of time because they have to prepare their defense, right? And if they're losing time, they're not going to prepare a good defense. It's going to put him in, they're not going to have the defense. So I don't know if the prosecution is withholding stuff, and if so, why? Again, why? So check out part 1, part 2. I think there's only 2 parts, so this will be part 3. I will be creating a folder if we're going to keep going with this, which I suspect we will. And so do follow, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Take care and bye for now.